Usually, we have them do rest. Like I said, after 3 days, if they're not getting better, I refer them to the concussion program or to an orthopedic, someone with concussion training. And traditionally, 1 to 2 weeks, people get better. And you have them doing cognitive rest, a little bit. I ask their teachers to relax what they're doing, if possible. And then, of course, no physical activity. After that, they're still taking half days or maybe missing school, especially like when they're missing school altogether and they're just not getting better. Then what do? You can't just keep like doing this, forever. But at the same time, with some kids, that ends up being somewhat of a negative. It kind of contributes negatively because, and particularly with type A athletes and type A people who are very focused and very driven and like coming to school, and they begin to stress out about missing school and missing classes and not being with their friends, or missing practice and what their team is doing and how they're not contributing with their team and they're not being able to be on the field, score goals or whatever. And start to kind of manifest into physical symptoms, like anxiety and stress, and then sometimes that can upregulate some of those concussion symptoms, because concussions are metabolic disorders, and a lot of mental stimulation and emotional stimulation can make it worse. So then you get into that cycle of, they're not getting better, and at some point, after a normal amount of time passes, that they are not getting better and you're taking all these other precautions, you kind of step back to kind of take another look at what's causing these symptoms. And that's when we talk about home life and, their friends and what they do for fun, and if they, are in a relationship and if they feel safe in that relationship, and, different things like that, and kind of delve a little bit deeper into maybe what they're feeling emotionally, because for some athletes, post-concussion syndrome and like really lasting concussions aren't always physiologically based. It's not necessarily as a result of the initial injury. It's something that comes up, as kind of an eddy in the pond. And for that, we start to try to incorporate them back into school and going for walks and getting outside and doing things that aren't necessarily physically going to kind of stir up that pot, or I like to describe it as shake up the snow globe, and stir up any symptoms, but something that kind of makes them feel like they have some sort of return to normalcy, and that they do have some control over their life, and things are getting back to normal, and they're not missing too much at school, and their grades aren't failing, and this and that, and we're finding that that's helping a little bit more.